The average price of gasoline in Korea rose for the second consecutive week last week, reflecting rising global oil prices as well as the government's scaled back fuel tax cut.
최근 국제유가가 오름세를 보이고 국내 유류세 인하폭이 축소됨에 따라 지난주 국내 휘발유 평균 판매 가격이 2주 연속 상승했습니다. Uh-oh, it's getting more and more expensive to fuel up.
It's on the up right now, according to KNOC, the Korea National Oil Corporation. Average prices last week stood at 1,682 won per liter. That's up 27 won per liter from the previous week. And the same goes for the price of diesel as well. Diesel is up 29 won per liter as well. The highest, no surprise here, the highest region of gas is in Seoul at 1,748 won. And if you want to get cheap gas, you should go travel to the city of Daegu, where average prices there are 1,657 won.
Very interesting. 아무래도 지역별로 이제 기름값이 조금씩은 다르기 때문에 서울시에서 또 가장 높은 휘발유 가격이 기록이 됐다고 하고요. 지난주에 또 대구는 상대적으로 낮았는데 평균 가격은 어쨌든 1,682원이었습니다.
Yeah, so it's no surprise when global oil prices go up or down. It parallels what happens here at the pump as well. But another reason for gas prices going up, like I said in the headline, is that the government is scaling back or they're reducing this tax subsidy, this tax cut that was in effect. And so that's another reason why the price is going up.
Yeah. You mentioned paralleling just there. And another expression for that would be to reflect something.
It reflects, right. So if something reflects something, it indicates or it shows, it manifests itself in a certain way. We talk about a reflection in the mirror where it looks exactly the same, or how light will reflect off of something so it can't penetrate.
Exactly. Reflect는 나타낸다라는 뜻이죠. 우리가 거울을 보면은 나의 모습이 나타나는데요. You see your reflection in the mirror because it's reflected. 그리고 그 전에 이제 얘기했던 parallel 같은 경우에는 평행선을 만든다는 뜻이지만 이제 국제유가가 오르면 우리나라의 유가도 같이 따라서 오른다 이런 뜻으로 써주셨고 우리가 이제 가끔 보면은 중립으로 이렇게 주차를 하잖아요. 그 원래 파킹 스폿 말고 이렇게 다른 이렇게 뭐라 그러죠? 직각으로 해가지고 그걸 영어로는 뭐라 그러죠?
Parallel parking
Parallel
you're talking
parking.
about? Yeah.
네네.
So
그
when you try to
단어를
park along the side of the road and you have a car in front and behind.
네, 그렇습니다.
Yeah.
그래서 우리가 원래 주차 공간이 아닌 곳에 이렇게 그 뉴트럴 기어로 중립 기어로 세워 놓는 거를 영어로는 parallel parking이라고 하는데요. 그게 왜 그러냐면은 그 도로 내지는 인도와 평행이 되도록 주차를 할 때 우리가 그렇게 주차하니까.
Right. Although self-driving cars will automatically parallel park for you now,
yes, exactly.
which is pretty amazing too.
That is.
Anyways.
And you also mentioned the term to scale something back.
Yeah, that's what the government's doing in terms of these tax cuts. They're reducing the actual tax cut. So they're actually abolishing these subsidies that were in effect. So when you scale back something, you're reducing it in size, number, or extent, usually across the board in a general way. Because scale normally means to pattern yourself off of something, to make or to estimate at some rate or standard. The term economies of scale, I don't know if you're familiar with that in economics, where the more a company produces, the cheaper it gets, which is economies of scale. So you're adjusting.
이 scale이라는 게 규모를 말해요. 그래서 scale back라고 하면은 규모를 축소시킨다라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 즉 국내 유류세 인하폭이요. 축소가 됐습니다. 이 유류세 인하폭이 늘어나면은 아무래도 기름값이 조금 떨어질 텐데 그 인하폭이 줄어들었기 때문에 상대적으로 기름값은 오르는 거죠. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The average price of gasoline in Korea rose for the second consecutive week last week, reflecting rising global oil prices as well as the government's scaled back fuel tax cut. Now let's move on to the next headline.
Korea saw its hottest June temperatures in 52 years last month, according to the KMA, and the highest number of heat wave days when daytime temperatures exceed 33 degrees Celsius for the month.
기상청에 따르면 우리나라의 지난달 평균 기온이 역대 6월 중 52년 만에 가장 높았으며 일 최고 기온이 33도씨 이상인 날의 수를 의미하는 폭염일수도 가장 많았던 것으로 나타났습니다. Okay, so it was Hot
Basically.
and for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's basically what this headline is saying.
Yeah.
They define heat wave days here as in the headline when daytime temperatures, the highs exceed 33 degrees Celsius, and
Yeah.
we saw that happen more often in June. 2.8 heat wave days, in fact, to be precise, and much of it happened during the middle of the month. The early part of June, it wasn't as hot, but what we saw was hot air coming in towards the west or from the west from China. And that was a reason for the unseasonably hot temperatures. And I love when forecasters tell us the reason after the fact of why it's hot.
Yeah.
I wish they would be a little more accurate predicting the future, the weather in the future.
그러게 말입니다. 자, 2024년 6월이요. 지금까지 기록된 6월 중에 가장 더웠고요. 그다음에 폭염을 겪은 일수도 가장 많았다고 합니다. 이걸 폭염 일수라고 하는데 영어로는 뭐 달리 표현할 방법이 없을 것 같아요. 그래서 직역을 해서 heat wave days 이렇게 표현을 하면 되겠습니다. 자, 첫 번째 표현 daytime temperatures.
Yeah, just like it says, the temperature, which is the degree of hotness or coldness
Yeah.
when there's daylight outside
So
during the
it's-
day.
It's the highs.
Yeah.
Basically.
The high temperature, which
Yeah.
I believe is at around 2 p.m., is when they measure it. And this got me thinking and do a little research. Do you know where the actual temperature is measured in Seoul?
No, let us know.
Well, there's a place called the Seoul Weather Station, 서울 기상 관측소, that I think is the official location. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. This is where they also measure the first snowfall.
Ah, interesting.
And it's a cultural asset over here. It's been around for 100 years. So
has it?
you should go visit. It's over by 경희궁 in that area.
그렇군요. Seoul Weather Station.
Yes.
자, daytime temperature라는 게 여기서는요, 낮 최고 기온을 말합니다. 그래서 다른 말로 high 아니면 highs라고 할 수도 있어요. 보통 이제 일기예보에서 the highs today will range between 29 and 32 degrees, and the lows will be between 15 and 17 degrees. 이런
Right.
식으로 얘기를 많이 하죠.
Right. And the daytime high on June 19th in Seoul was 35.6 degrees.
와우, 그래요. 그래서 이거를 이제 또 다른 표현으로는 낮 기온, daytime temperature라고 얘기를 하면 되겠습니다. 자, 그럼 exceeding, what does that mean?
When you exceed something, you're greater than or superior to
Yeah.
something. It could also mean going beyond someone's boundary when you exceed expectations or you exceed your authority.
그러네요. exceeding이라는 것은 뛰어넘다, 초과하다라는 뜻이 있어서요. 33도씨를 넘는 그런 이제 그 최고 기온이 기록이 될 때는 그런 걸 이제 폭염일이라고 하는데요. 그런 폭염 일수가 지난 6월 달에 지금까지의 6월 중 가장 많았다고 합니다. All right, here's the headline again. Korea saw its hottest June temperatures in 52 years last month, according to the KMA, and the highest number of heat wave days when daytime temperatures exceed 33 degrees Celsius for the month.
Reformist Masoud Pezeshkian has been elected as Iran's new president after he secured over 53% of more than 30 million votes, beating his hardline conservative rival Saeed Jalili.
3천만 명 이상이 참여한 이란 대통령 선거에서 53%의 득표율을 얻은 개혁파 마수드 페제스키안 후보가 강경 보수파 사이드 자릴리 후보를 누르고 당선됐습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this was a runoff election after the first round back in June ended up with not a majority. There was no majority. And the reason for this entire election is, of course, the death of Iran's previous president, Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash back in May, which also had 7 other casualties there. But
Yeah.
the winner of Iran's latest election, he's a doctor, a heart surgeon, in fact, Dr. Pezeshkian. He's 71 years old. He's a member of the Iranian parliament, and he's been known to be critical of Iran's morality police, which has been
Right.
very controversial, especially in the West,
interesting. Yeah.
and their practices there. And what he's calling for, the platform that he ran on, is for more unity and cohesion, as well as to end Iran's isolation from the world, especially the West. His opponent was more of a conservative. Saeed Jalili, he favored the status quo, currently how Iran is, and he was a strong supporter, or he was supported by many of Iran's most religious communities.
아, 그렇군요. 그러면 이번에 당선된 Pezeskian 박사죠. 원래는
Yeah.
이제 Dr. Pezeskian 후보 같은 경우에는 소위 도덕 경찰이라고 하잖아요. 이란의 그 여성들이 옷을 잘 입고 있는지 이런 거를 이제 감시하는 그런 경찰에 대해서 비판적인 입장을 평소에 가지고 있었다고 합니다. 그리고 심장 그 수술을 하는 게 원래 이제 전문이었다고 해요. Heart surgeon. 그래서 의사 출신의 그런 리더가 되겠습니다. 그래서 새로운 이제 대통령이 되는 것이고요. 그다음에 이번에 그 라이벌이었던 아까 얘기했던 젤랄리
젤리리?
후보, 젤리리 후보 같은 경우에는 그 스타투스 쿼라고 하는데 이거는 뭐냐면 현 상태를 그저 유지하자 이거를 더 주장했던 그런 후보였다고 합니다. 그러니까 뭐 도덕 경찰이라든지 여러 가지 현안들에 대해서 지금의 정책, 기존 정책을 바꾸지 말고 그냥 가자 이거를 주장했었는데 이번에 패했군요. He didn't win.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
have two candidates on such opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
right?
it sounds like it. Okay, when we say someone is a reformist, what does that mean?
Yeah, we're talking about Pezeshkian here
Yeah.
specifically, but a reformist is someone who advocates just gradual reform as opposed to sudden reform like revolutions. So we're talking about changes in doctrine, policies, or any sort of movement. Reform means to change
Yeah.
or to transform. So more of on the liberal side. And I do want to point out the word reform in Korean, ripom, has been incorrectly used in the fashion industry, right? When you remake clothing, I think it's known as ripom.
Yes.
But
to think of it.
I don't think that's accurate in English. I think you would normally say you repurpose or you remake clothes or you
point.
recycle clothing, right? Upcycling is another
Sure.
hot word these days in terms of clothing and other recyclable materials.
Exactly. reform이라는 표현은요, 개혁이나 혁신을 불러일으키는 겁니다. 그래서 reformist, 그러면 그런 걸 하는 사람이 되겠죠. 개혁론자, 뭐 개혁파, 내지는 혁신주의자, 이런 의미가 될 텐데요. 지금까지 했던 것과는 좀 다르게 새로운 아마 정치 가도를 가지 않을까 싶어요. 그래서 reformist Pezeskian이라는 앞에 타이틀이 붙게 되는 거고요. 그다음에 이번에 그 라이벌이었던 게 아까 얘기했던 줄리리 후보였는데 줄리리는 어떻게 묘사가 되고 있냐면 hardline conservative라고 했습니다.
Or you can just simply say he's a hardliner.
hardliner.
Right? He's a hardliner,
Yep.
which means that he's uncompromising. He's strict to a certain policy or course of action. So he's a conservative that, like we said, likes the status quo and doesn't
Yep.
want to change.
네, 강경파를 말합니다. 여기서는요. 그래서 hardline이라는 게 강경하다. conservative라는 단어도 붙어 있죠. 그래서 이제 보수 중에서도 굉장히 강경한 그런 후보였는데 he was beat. 그래서 이기지 못했습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Reformist Masoud Pezeshkian has been elected as Iran's new president after he secured over 53% of more than 30 million votes, beating his hardline conservative rival, Saeed Jalili. All right, here's our next headline.
A tornado has ripped through China's eastern province of Shandong, leaving roughly 100 casualties and damaging nearly 3,000 homes.
토네이도가 중국 산둥성을 휩쓸면서 약 100명의 사상자가 발생하고 3,000채 가까운 주택이 파손됐습니다. Now, I understand that conflicting reports are coming out from
Yeah.
news outlets in regards to the casualties. Some say there's been a big number of deaths. Some say the number of injuries it's all quite different.
Yeah, a lot of the information is still trickling in,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, with such disaster-stricken areas. The weather officials in China say that severe convective weather caused these tornadoes. Convective means circulating, and tornadoes are not uncommon. They're not rare, but they don't happen as much as you would imagine, like in the United States, despite the landmass
Yeah.
in China. China. So, Shandong province is very close to Korea, I believe, just on the eastern coastline of the country there. And emergency services are currently conducting post-disaster disposal and on-site cleanup. But I don't know if you've seen the pictures. It seems to be very devastating,
Yeah.
especially when they hit areas that aren't used to having tornadoes.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 토네이도가 뭐 자주 발생하는 지역은 아니었다라는 설명을 지금 해주셨는데, 이게 사망자와 부상자를 합친 그런 사상자가 100명 정도다. 지금 이렇게 설명을 드렸어요. 외신 보도가 계속 지금 trickling in 조금씩 들어오고 있기 때문에 이 숫자가 보도마다 다 조금씩은 차이가 있어요. 그래서 roughly 라는 표현을 썼고 casualties라는 단어 보겠습니다.
Yeah, a casualty is a person or thing that's injured, lost, or destroyed. Basically a victim. You could say dead and wounded too.
네, 그렇습니다. casualties, 사상자가 되겠고요. CGTN 중국 방송에 따르면은 5명의 사망자와 그 다음에 83명의 부상자가 나왔다. 이렇게 보도가 되고 있습니다. Ripping through는 뭐죠?
Yeah, when you rip through something, you move very powerfully or forcefully through a place or a building, destroying it. You could say a bullet ripped through the person's body, or an explosion ripped through the building, or a fire, anything that goes very severely or powerfully through something.
rip라는 거는 종이를 찢는다는 뜻이 될 수도 있어요. 그만큼 그 파격적인 내지는 이제 타격을 주는 그런 기상 관련된 소식에서 rip through 그만큼 타격을 줬다는 겁니다. The tornado has ripped through this part of China. 다시 읽어볼게요. A tornado has ripped through China's eastern province of Shandong, leaving roughly 100 casualties and damaging nearly 3,000 homes. Here's our final headline.
A Canadian researcher has said that consuming an average of just 2 drinks per week across a lifetime can shorten one's life by 3 to 6 days.
네, 평생 일주일에 평균 2잔씩만 술을 마셔도 수명이 3일에서 6일 단축된다는 캐나다 연구진의 발표가 나왔습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, the whole reason for this study, of why this scientist conducted this study, was to refute other fellow scientists who have said that moderate drinking is actually okay. And so what he did was he found major flaws in that medical research. But basically, this latest study shows that consuming 1 drink per day slashes 2.5 months off of a person's life. And we're talking about 1 drink here.
Okay.
And if you booze even more heavily than that, if you put away 35 drinks per week, which comes out to about 5 drinks a day, or about 2 bottles of whiskey over 7 days. That's about 2 years that you're cutting short.
와우. 자, 하루에 한 잔을 만약에 마신다라 그러면은 평균 수명이 한 2달 정도 단축이 될 수 있다고 하고요. 하루에 한 5잔씩 마신다라 그러면은 1년이나 단축이 된다고요?
Which
평균
I
수명이?
imagine, I imagine that's about a bottle of soju.
Is it?
1 bottle of soju comes out to about 6 or 7 shots, I believe. I'm pretending I don't know. Imagine drinking a bottle. I don't think you need a study to show that if you drink daily 1 bottle of soju a day, that would definitely harm your health. But there are people who justify drinking by saying, a glass of wine a day will help with blood circulation. But,
Right.
I think everything in moderation is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, and not everyone has the same tolerance to alcohol.
Exactly.
As well. Now, when we talk about doing something over a lifetime, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's the duration of or existence of a living being, or a person or an animal, or it could be an inanimate object like a star. We talk about the lifetime of a star that, this star is hundreds of millions of years old until it dies out. But lifetime could also mean career in sports.
Sure.
The batter's lifetime batting average is 321, for example. So over the course of his career or her career, it was blah, blah, blah.
선수 생활을 한 그 기간을 lifetime이라고 표현할 수도 있겠고
Yep.
보통 우리가 말하는 lifetime은 일평생이라는 뜻이죠. 앞서 배운 daytime은 낮이란 뜻이고요. 낮 최고 기온, 낮에 한다. 그 daytime이고 lifetime은 평생이라는 뜻입니다. 자, shorten은요?
Yeah, just like it says to make short, to reduce the length or duration of something. You
That's right.
curtail or reduce or lessen it.
That's right. 짧게 하다, 단축하다. shorten, 발음은 뭐 shorten 이렇게도 할 수 있습니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A Canadian researcher said that consuming an average of just 2 drinks per week across a lifetime can shorten one's life by 3 to 6 days. And that's it for our headlines with Shane.
A record 47 million passengers used South Korean carriers in the first half of this year, up 29% from a year earlier, on higher demand for affordable air travel.
저렴한 중단거리 여행에 대한 수요가 늘어나면서 올해 상반기에 국적 항공사를 이용한 승객 수가 지난해보다 29% 증가해 역대 최다인 4,700만 명을 기록했습니다. More and more people are traveling, obviously.
Yes,
Tell
at
us
least
more. Yeah.
according to data from the Ministry of Land Infrastructure and Transport.
Yep.
It should say the previous record was 47 million, 47 million 40,000.
Yeah.
That was in the first half of 2019. Now in the first half of this year, looking at domestic and international flights offered by 10 local airlines, it was 47.56 million. So we're up on pre-pandemic levels, which over the past few years, I think, the tourism industry has been worried about the number of people traveling. They're saying the reason for the increase is low-cost carriers with short-haul routes,
Right.
as we have high inflation and a weak won, and people are looking to travel maybe less further afield and for a little less money.
네, 그렇습니다. 올해 이제 상반기 데이터를 보게 되면은요, 4,756만 명이 한국의 이런 국적 항공사를 이용해서 여행한 걸 알 수 있습니다. 국내외, 국내선, 국제선 다 포함이에요. 근데 이게 2019년을 넘어선 수치거든요. 이제 2019년 하면은 당연히 이제 코비드 이전 시대를 우리가 생각하는데, 그동안 사실 팬데믹 기간 동안에는 록다운도 있었고,
네.
여러 가지 travel restriction도 있고, 그래서 거의 여행 못했고, 그때는 우리가 이런 항공사에 대해서 걱정 많이 했잖아요.
네.
Are they going to be able to stay in business? No one's traveling 이러면서 걱정 많이 했는데 not much to worry about now, I guess.
Well, at least for these low-budget airlines, the low-cost carriers.
그렇습니다. 특히 LCC라고 하는 Low Cost Carriers, 저가 항공이죠. 네, 그런 항공사들의 실적이 굉장히 좋네요. 오히려 큰 항공사보다 LCC가 더 굉장히 이용객이 많았다고 합니다. 이런 항공사를요, carrier라고 하네요.
Yeah, because they carry people and carry luggage. They are carriers. Yes, so we refer to them. This is a common term used in the news and the news media when talking about airlines, meaning they're the ones that are carrying the people.
That's
You can also
right.
have a phone carrier that carry your phone connection.
Exactly. 그래서 아까 얘기했던 LCC, 저가 항공사, 이것도요, carrier라는 단어가 들어갑니다. Low Cost Carrier. 항공사 carrier고요. Affordable air travel, what does that mean?
Well, air travel is flying, and
Yeah.
affordable means you can afford it, meaning you are able to pay for it, meaning it's not that expensive.
Yeah. You wouldn't change this word for cheap necessarily, but it does mean that it's relatively cheaper than maybe, a really expensive flight, for example.
Exactly. So I would put cheap as being cheaper than affordable.
Yeah, 그렇죠.
So we have cheapest, cheaper, cheap, affordable, expensive, most
Yeah.
expensive.
그러게요. 정말 엄청 저렴하면은 그냥 cheap라는 단어를 쓸 수 있고 아니면은 그거보다 더 casual하게 dirt cheap 이런 표현을 쓸 수도 있어요. 그렇지만 여기서 affordable이라는 것은 상대적인 말이기는 한데 다른 좀 비싼 항공 표에 비해서 이 저가 항공의 표가 조금 더 저렴하다.
네.
It's relatively cheap. It's affordable. 그래서 저렴한 여행이라는 뜻의 affordable air travel이 되겠습니다. 비행기를 타고 하는 여행이요. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A record 47 million passengers used South Korean carriers in the first half of this year, up 29% from a year earlier, on higher demand for affordable air travel. Now let's move on to the second headline.
More Koreans today are consuming canned products and opting to go makeup free, according to the latest 3-year biomonitoring survey.
3년 단위로 실시되는 국민환경보건 기초조사 최근 결과에 따르면 우리나라에서 통조림과 캔 음료 등 캔 음식을 섭취하는 사람과 화장을 안 하는 사람이 최근 늘어난 것으로 파악됐습니다. So the latest data is for the years 2021 to 2023.
That's right. This is the National Institute of Environmental Research. They surveyed 6,608 Koreans. So it's a relatively small sample when looking at the whole country, but it does give us an indication of
Okay.
how people are living. So we had 4.2% of adults aged over 18 said that they were consuming canned products, and so that's including food and beverages, more than 4 times a week. So not quite every day, but certainly most days of the week. And that's an increase from the last time we had this survey, which came out in 2020, that was 3.7%. The issue is canned food, while it may be convenient, is linked to certain health issues, exposure to various chemicals and chemical compounds. Smoking was also up. We now have 16.8% compared to 16.3% of adults saying that they were identifying as smokers.
Yep.
But when it comes to makeup, when it comes to exposure to chemicals in the beauty sector, we had 60.2% reported not using any cosmetics other than moisturizers.
Interesting. 자, 이게 이제 국민환경보건 기초조사라는 겁니다. 이번이 5기 조사였는데요. 2021년부터 2023년의 데이터를 이제 바로 어제 발표를 했습니다. 그 앞서서 4기 국민환경보건 기초조사는 2018년부터 2020년까지였는데 이 두 가지 데이터를 비교해 보게 되면은 일단은 캔 음식을 섭취하는 사람들의 비율이 조금 늘었고요. 그다음에 화장품을 쓰는 비율이 많이 줄었습니다. 그 외에도 이제 흡연율도 좀 올랐네요. 안타깝게도. 그래서 이런 이제 데이터를 알 수 있는데 이 국민환경보건 기초조사라는 거는요. 국민 몸 안에 환경 유해인자 농도가 얼마나 되는지 파악하려는 것이 목적이라고 합니다. 그래서 3년 단위로 실시를 하고 이번에 한 6천 명 정도가 설문조사에 참여를 했다고 하는데 설문조사뿐만 아니라 생체 시료를 채취해서 분석하는 방법으로 진행이 된다고 합니다. Alright, more and more people are opting to not wear makeup.
Hold on. I'm just deciding if I'm going to opt to answer this question.
Are you?
Yeah, I will opt to answer it.
Thank you.
So to opt to do something means to decide to do something, to choose to do something. It's of your own free will.
Yeah, exactly. 고르다, 뭐뭐 하기로 선택하다. 이거를요, opt to do something이라고 합니다. 오프닝에도 이제 잘 들으신 분들은 기억하시겠지만 이 단어가 들어갔었어요, 오늘. 그래서 a lot of people are opting for iced drinks or opting to go for the cold drinks. 이렇게
Yeah.
해요.
And one way of remembering this is think of option,
Yes.
which is where you have a choice.
That's right. 옵션이라는 명사를 같이 기억하시면 돼요. 어원이 같으니까. opt to do something이라는 동사입니다. 뭐뭐 하기로 하다.
Oh, Sue, do you know which Transformer always likes to choose first?
Optimus Prime.
That's the one.
I got this. All right. A lot of people are opting to actually go makeup free.
Oh, that doesn't sound expensive at all. No, we're not talking about money here. If you go something free, that means you're not using it or not consuming it. For example, you might go meat free, have a meat free Monday, meaning you're not eating meat. If you go makeup free, like me today, I'm only wearing moisturizer.
그렇죠. 뭐뭐뭐 하고 hyphen free라고 하면은요. 뭘 안 했다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 그 우리 음료 중에 설탕이 추가되지 않은 이제 무당 그런 음료들 있잖아요. 그 영어로는 sugar free라고 하죠.
You'll see caffeine free as well.
caffeine free도 있고요. 네, 제가 요즘에 즐겨 마시는 음료들이네요. 다 sugar free, caffeine free.
Fun free.
No, we can't have Tuesdays without fun. It's fun full. No, that doesn't make sense.
No. You know what I am, though?
What?
I'm carefree.
Carefree, that's a good one as well. 크게 뭐 걱정하지 않고 carefree 하는 그런 성격 너무 좋습니다. 자, makeup free 화장을 안 한다는 뜻인데 a lot of people are opting to go makeup free. 더 많은 사람들이 요즘은 화장을 안 하는 것을 선택합니다. 이전에 그 2018년에서 20년 데이터에 비해 이번에는 그렇게 드러났네요. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. More Koreans today are consuming canned products and opting to go makeup free, according to the latest 3-year bio-monitoring survey.
Hurricane Beryl has strengthened to a Category 1 hurricane, making landfall in southern Texas and becoming the first storm in the Atlantic hurricane season to hit the mainland US.
열대성 폭풍이던 Beryl이 1등급 허리케인으로 다시 강해진 상태로 미국 텍사스 남부에 상륙하면서 올해 미국을 강타한 첫 대서양 허리케인으로 기록됐습니다. Okay, so yeah, we're hearing a lot of stories about Hurricane Beryl in America.
We are. It hit the Gulf Coast of Texas early Monday local time, according to the National Hurricane Center. And it was running at about 128 kilometers per hour when it came to winds.
Yes.
We saw 2 locations west of Houston had major flooding on Monday. There were about 3 million homes and businesses that had power knocked out.
Oh, dear.
Sadly, two people were killed by falling trees onto their homes. And a state disaster declaration has been made in 121 counties across Texas. Many have been advised to evacuate. This is a big deal because we've seen that hurricane season is a life or death situation sometimes, and they want to make sure that everyone's protected.
네, 휴스턴 서쪽으로 지금 범람 소식도 있고요. 그 다음에는 이제 한 300만 가구 정도가 전력이 끊겼다고 합니다. 이게 전력이 다시 공급이 될 때까지 며칠 걸릴 수 있다 이렇게 얘기를 하네요. 아이고. 자, hurricane has made landfall이라는 표현 보겠습니다.
Meaning it's hit the land. It's gone from the water
Yeah.
to the earth. Yeah, so if something makes landfall, and I think we use this mainly for hurricanes and typhoons,
Yes.
it's going to mean that it's hit the land, meaning it's affecting, well, the island or the mainland.
네, 상륙했다는 뜻으로 make landfall 한 단어입니다. landfall, make landfall이 바로 상륙하다입니다. 자, 그 다음에는 mainland라는 표현을 볼까요?
Or we can just compare Seoul and Jeju. Seoul is on the mainland,
Yes.
whereas the city of Jeju is on the island of Jeju. It's not part of the mainland, meaning the large area of land.
네, 그렇습니다. 본토라는 뜻이 되겠죠. mainland. 이것도 역시 한 단어예요. 아까도 이제 make 그다음에 landfall이라는 단어가 있었고 이번에는 mainland. 다 이제 land가 많이 들어가는데 of course we're talking about how the hurricane is affecting the land.
Yes.
So we have many words to do with that. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Hurricane Beryl has strengthened to a Category 1 hurricane, making landfall in southern Texas and becoming the first storm in the Atlantic hurricane season to hit the mainland US. Let's move on to our next headline.
2 pistols that Napoleon Bonaparte once intended to use on himself have been sold in France for $1.8 million at auction, with the French government banning their exports so that they stay in the country as national treasures.
나폴레옹 보나파르트가 자결용으로 사용하려고 했던 권총 2자루가 경매에서 180만 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 25억 원에 팔렸습니다. 그러나 프랑스 정부는 이 물건을 국보로 지정하고 국외 반출을 금지한 상황입니다. Tell us more.
Well, we don't know who bought them, but we do know they went, above the estimated price, the asking price. So we're seeing $1.8 million for these very valuable and very important pistols because they played a major part in Napoleon's life. Back in 1814, when he was having to give up power, when his army was defeated, when Paris was occupied, he almost used them. He did not. Instead, he took poison, but he did survive.
Yeah.
And then he gave the pistols to his squire. And the squire is sort of his handyman, his servant, the person next to him. And so these went on sale, but the French Culture Ministry have classed them as national treasures. They've banned the export. So it doesn't matter how old they are, doesn't matter how much they're worth. Once they've been qualified as a national treasure, they can leave France, but only temporarily. They have to return. So maybe they could be lent to a museum for an exhibition, but they always have to come back to France.
그랬군요. 1814년에 이제 패하면서 그 패배를 받아들이기가 굉장히 힘든 이 상황 속에 있는 나폴레옹 보나파르트가 자결을 하기 위해서 이 권총을 쓰려고 했다고 합니다. 그렇지만 결국은 권총을 쓰지 않고 독약을 먹었는데 또 이게 좀 공교롭게도 그게 결국은 다 다시 올라온 거예요. vomited라는 표현을 이제 영어 기사에서 쓰고 있는데 그래서 이걸 다시 다 뱉어내다 보니까 결국은 죽지 않았습니다. 그리고 지금 얘기한 그 문제의 그 권총, 이거를 이제 프랑스에서는 이건 그래도 의미가 굉장히 있는 국보니까 절대로 이거는 다른 나라로 가져가면 안 된다라고 하고 있는 거죠.
He's such a big figure in France. If you've
Yes.
been to Paris, if you've ever had a chance to see his tomb, it's an astonishing monument to him. This relatively small man who made a large impression on France. So it's no wonder they want to keep these pistols in France because
Yeah.
they're part of France's history.
Exactly.
You know, if they left France, you know how they would cry?
How?
They go Napoleon, ong, 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 ong.
I think that was intended to make our listeners laugh. And
Maybe.
the pistols in question were intended to be used to end one's life. To
Yes.
intend to do something. What's that?
Meaning that's your plan, that's your desire, that's your wish, that's your want, that's what you think you're going to do. It doesn't mean you will. Like in this case, he intended to use the pistols, but he did not. Sue always intends to get through the show without any bad jokes from Paul, and she always fails.
Intend to do something 이라는 거는요. 무엇을 할 작정이다. 이런 의도로 한다라는 뜻입니다. 자, ban the export of something.
Yes, so export means, being sold outside of the country, taken to another country. And if it's banned, it means it is forbidden. It's not allowed. So if there's a ban on something, it must not happen. For example, some teachers may ban smartphones from the classroom,
Yeah.
meaning they are not allowed.
Absolutely. So it's not always used in the sense of exports and imports, but in
No.
this case, basically just taking it out of the country.
Yes, and banning is always going to be about an organization restricting the use or the ability or the action of someone.
Sure. banning은 금지한다는 뜻이고요. export는 여기서 수출이라기보다는 반출이 되겠습니다. 그래서 프랑스 밖으로 국외 반출하는 것을 금한다. banning the export of these pistols, so taking it out of France 이런 의미입니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. Two pistols that Napoleon Bonaparte once intended to use on himself have been sold in France for $1.8 million at auction, with the French government banning their export so that they stay in the country as national treasures. Here's our final headline.
Singer Justin Bieber was reportedly paid a whopping $10 million for an hour-long performance at India's billionaire heir Anant Ambani's pre-wedding bash.
가수 저스틴 비버가 인도 부호의 후계자 아난트 암바니의 결혼식 식전 행사에서 1시간 공연을 대가로 무려 $1,000,000, 우리 돈으로 약 138억 원을 출연료로 받은 것으로 알려졌습니다. We're talking about crazy rich people.
We are.
Reference to the movie title in the book. And they decided they wanted to have Justin Bieber at the wedding, and so they had him over. This wasn't a concert. This was a private event, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they're actually getting married July 12th. That's their 3-day ceremony.
But this has already happened, hasn't it?
Well, they've had a lot of celebrities over. This has
Yeah.
been going on since last month. Since February. In February, Rihanna performed. In June, there was Katy Perry. There's also been the Backstreet Boys. There's been Pitbull, the rapper. There's been the opera singer, the tenor, Andrea Bocelli.
my goodness, wow.
This is a big deal. They are billionaires. They're also childhood friends, which I think is quite romantic. That
Okay.
They've known each other for a long time. His father's daughter, when she got married, the wedding cost $100 million US dollars, and Beyonce performed. So this is just carrying on the family tradition.
Exactly. 엄청난 부자기 때문에 우리가 이제 감히 상상도 할 수 없는 액수의 돈을 지금 쓰면서 정작 이제 본 결혼식은 아직 치러지지 않았다고요? 언제라 그랬죠?
It's the July 12th is when the 3-day ceremony takes place. This was at a pre-wedding party.
그러네요. 자, 이제 본식은 7월 12일부터 그것도 하루가 아니네요. 3일 동안 본식이 진행이 되는데 그 결혼식 전 행사로 유명한 연예인들, 가수들 이렇게 불러서 일종의 피로연 같은 건데 식전 행사로 이렇게 치르고 있다고 합니다. 그래서 저스틴 비버가 $1,000,000, 한 140억 원 정도를 받고 요 가족을 위해서 1시간 동안 노래를 열심히 불렀다고 해요.
I'm also available for pre-wedding parties at the same price. Just get in touch with EBS.
And what would you do for that money?
I'd sing Justin Bieber
dance?
songs. Yeah,
Oh.
dance as well, do everything. Yeah. I'm an all-round entertainer.
Paul is available.
Yeah.
And I might be too.
No. If you've seen our Instagram, you've seen how Sue dances this morning.
정경화님이 우와 아무리 자본주의라지만 조영수님도 나도 가수 될 걸 하셨습니다. 네, we would be willing to go and sing and dance and
teach English.
and teach English for just 1% of that fee.
Sure,
But
I mean,
it would
10%
still-
would be better.
10% would be
Yeah.
better, but still it would
We'll
be
do it. Tom Cruise, if you're listening.
astronomical. 자, 그래요. Let's have a look at the first expression. Whopping.
Whopping with a silent H, WHOPPING, meaning huge, massive, enormous.
그렇죠. 이 $10 million는 우리가 평상시 구경도 못하는 돈인데 정말 어마어마하게 큰 돈이기 때문에 그런 의미의 whopping이 앞에 붙었습니다.
Yeah, in British English, we often pair it with another word for big. So it feels like a little unnecessary, like whopping great or whopping big, whatever. Which is a tautology, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. 자, 그래서 어마어마한 액수인이라는 뜻의 whopping이 쓰였어요. 이거는 뭐 이제 돈의 액수뿐만 아니라 무언가의 크기에 대해서도
네.
쓸 수 있습니다. 굉장히 크다는 뜻이고요. 그다음에 이 wedding bash이라는 표현이 나오는데 이게 뭐죠?
Do you promise not to hit me if I explain this?
bash.
So one meaning of bash is to hit or to punch.
Yeah.
But here, it's a much nicer meaning. It means a big party, a big celebration, often used for weddings and birthdays or Christmas or any time when people get together for a few drinks and a bit of a boogie.
Exactly. 자, 동사 bash는 뭔가 때린다는 뜻이지만 그게 아니고요. 명사 bash입니다. 파티라는 뜻이 되겠어요. 그래서 pre-wedding bash, pre-wedding party, basically.
Yes. Not to be confused with one of the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh yes,
Bashful, which
Bashful.
means you're shy and you get
I'm
embarrassed
so
easily.
shy.
So three very different meanings with bash in them.
그러네요. 스노우 화이트에 있는 드워프 이름들이 다 성격을 나타내는
네.
이름들이었죠. 근데 bashful이라는 이름이 하나 있었는데 굉장히 수줍어하는 그 캐릭터였습니다. 그래서 bashful 하면은 그런 뜻이 되겠고요. 자, 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. Singer Justin Bieber was reportedly paid a whopping $10 million for an hour-long performance at India's billionaire heir Anant Ambani's pre-wedding bash. And that's it for today's headlines.
Hybrid vehicles accounted for over 20% of all new cars sold in the country in the first half of the year, according to industry data, while sales of diesel models decreased sharply.
올해 상반기 국내에서 판매된 신차의 20%가 하이브리드 차량이며 디젤 차량의 판매량은 급격히 감소했다는 업계 조사 결과가 나왔습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so they're saying that these hybrid models have become very popular
Yeah.
globally as of late because EVs or electric vehicles are facing a sort of stagnation in demand due to infrastructure shortages and other factors. So they say that hybrid vehicles accounted for over 20% of all new cars sold in the country in the first half of the year, while sales of diesel models decreased sharply. And this is according to the automotive market tracker Carl's U. And the number of newly registered hybrid passenger vehicles during the January to June period was tallied at 187,903 units, and that accounted for 22.9, so nearly 23% of all new registrations, while the sales for diesel cars, it accounted for about 9.3% of the total, and they're saying that the sales of diesel models dropped about 54.8, so about 55% from last year.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, I also drive a hybrid. I got my car about 5 years ago, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it goes into the EV mode every now and then, but I don't need to charge it like an electric vehicle.
Right.
I just need to fill her up at the normal gas station as you would a gasoline car.
Right.
You know, just like any other. What's the name for it? Auto combustion car? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's nothing new in terms of how I
run it. Yeah.
and yet it is very quiet, and so it's I really
You're
I'm happy
liking
with
it.
my choice,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you think, so what are some advantages and do you think there are disadvantages or do you only see advantages?
For me, I've seen way more advantages than disadvantages because it's very much like just having a gasoline car, but then
Does it
you know,
save you
it's-
money?
It saves me money because I don't go to the gas station as
As
much.
often.
Yeah, but I guess you pay for that
The car.
when you buy the car
Right, it's a little more
initially.
expensive, yeah.
All right. So what's a vehicle, Karen?
A vehicle. Vehicle is like a car or any sort of thing that's used for transporting. It could be people or goods, especially on land. So as we mentioned, car, but a truck could also be a vehicle. A cart could also be a vehicle as well.
Exactly. 교통수단, 차량, vehicle이라고 하죠. V-E-H-I-C-L-E. 자, 그리고 decrease sharply.
Right. When something decreases sharply, it means it goes down very dramatically or very quickly. So when something is decreasing, it means to make or become smaller or fewer in size, amount, intensity, or degree. And we say when this is done sharply, it means by great degree or with a sudden and marked change dramatically.
Exactly. 자, 그러니까 급격히 줄다라는 뜻입니다. Decrease sharply. And earlier on, I think I meant to say a combustion engine, not an auto combustion. But then again, you know, I've been driving for so long,
Yeah.
and yet
We
I
don't think
don't
about
know
it,
much
right?
about cars at all.
It's just a gasoline run car.
It moves.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And I drive it.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right. One other thing, of course, to keep in mind when you have words to do with cars is that the steering wheel is not called a handle, it's
No.
called a wheel.
Yeah.
All right, here's the first headline again. Hybrid vehicles accounted for over 20% of all new cars sold in the country in the first half of the year, according to industry data, while sales of diesel models decreased sharply. Here's our next headline.
The cabinet has approved a revised enforcement ordinance that will have local businesses disclose any major insider trading involving more than 5 billion won at least 30 days in advance.
국내 기업이 50억 원 이상의 대규모 내부자 주식 거래를 할 경우 최소 30일 전에 이를 의무적으로 사전 공시하도록 한 법률 시행령 개정안이 국무회의에서 의결됐습니다. Okay, so what do we know regarding this story?
Right. So this move was approved on Tuesday. So the cabinet approved this, and it's a revised enforcement ordinance to the Financial Investment Services and Capital Markets Act. And so this will make local businesses disclose any major insider trading before the proposed transaction actually takes place. And under the revised rules, they're going to be required to disclose this. Any insider trading that involves more than 5 billion won, which is approximately 3.6 million US dollars, or 1% of their issued stocks at least about a month in advance. And the changed rules will be implemented or will take place starting from July 24th. And they say that if local businesses fail to comply, and as well as failures to carry out proposed transactions or filing false reports, they may be subject to a minimum fine of 2 billion won under these revised regulations.
Exactly. 자, 그래요. 지금 얘기하는 것처럼 이제 주식 거래를 내부적으로 할 경우에 더군다나 이제 그 기업의 규모가 50억 원 이상일 때 이것을 반드시 한 달 전, 최소 30일 전에 알려야 한다라는 내용의 그런 시행령이 되겠습니다. 자, 알린다, let someone know 이렇게 할 수도 있겠지만 영어로 disclose라고 합니다.
Right. So disclose is used quite frequently when we are making something that was a secret or making something that wasn't known before, like new information known. So that when we disclose something, it's usually information that we did not know of before.
네, 그래요. disclose 한 단어인데요. D-I-S-C-L-O-S-E. close 하지 않는 겁니다. 즉 닫고 이렇게 비밀스럽게 하는 게 아니라 밝히는 거죠. 공개하는 겁니다. 자, 그래서 disclose information 정보를 공개하다 이런 뜻이 되겠고요. In advance, what does
In
that mean?
advance, right. In advance, it means ahead in time or beforehand when you're doing something before something else.
그래요. In advance는 사전에, 미리라는 뜻입니다. All right, here's the headline again. The cabinet has approved a revised enforcement ordinance that will have local businesses disclose any major insider trading involving more than 5 billion won at least 30 days in advance.
U.S. President Joe Biden has called for an end to calls among members of the Democratic Party for him to drop his re-election candidacy as key lawmakers express support for him to remain in the 2024 presidential race.
미국 의회 주요 의원들이 조 바이든 미국 대통령의 2024 대선 완주에 대한 지지를 표명한 가운데 바이든 대통령은 민주당 의원들에게 자신을 향한 후보직 사퇴 요구를 중단하라고 촉구했습니다. Tell us more.
So there was that dismal debate performance from last month, which has been causing this sort of ruckus within the Democratic Party.
Yep.
So President Joe Biden has stood firm against these calls for him to drop his re-election candidacy and also called for an end to the intra-party drama that has torn apart Democrats since that debate last month. So this was written in a letter by Biden, and it comes as key lawmakers have expressed support for him to remain in the 2024 presidential race. The congressional Democrats, they've come back to Washington, and they're weighing whether to work and revive his campaign or try to edge him out. So this has been going on all this time, and Biden sent them this open letter, trying to sort of silence their skepticism of how fit he is to lead the country for another 4 years. So in that letter, he insisted that he wasn't leaving the race and stressed that the party has one job, which is to defeat presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump in November.
네. 바이든 대통령이요. 미국 역대 대통령 중에서 최고령자입니다. 대통령이 됐을 때도 78살로 최고령 대통령이었는데 지금 81예요.
Yeah.
그럼 앞으로 이제 또 4년을 더 하게 되면은 이제 80 중반까지 하게 되는 거잖아요.
Yeah.
그래서 일각에서는 좀 걱정을 하는 목소리들도 있습니다. 같은 민주당 내에서
I think they do have reason to be
그쵸.
a little concerned for his health.
그럼요. 이 건강상의 여러 가지 이유들 때문에 사퇴를 하시는 게 좋지 않겠느냐 이렇게 이제 말하는 사람들도 있는가 하면 또 같은 이제 민주당 내에서는 그래도 끝까지 가보자.
Yeah.
한 번 더 하자. 이러는 목소리들도 있는 거고요. 최근에 있었던 그 디베이트에서는 이제 그런 뭐라 그럴까요? 나이가 연령 연세가 좀 있으시다 보니까 그게 조금 힘에 붙였던
Yeah.
것 같아요.
Yeah.
예, 이거를 굉장히 좀 긴 시간 동안 서서 이렇게 막 치열하게 디베이트를 하는 그런
Debating,
자리였는데
yeah, it's not easy.
쉽지 않았어요. 이게
Yeah.
그리고 부드럽게 얘기하는 게 아니라
No.
서로 엄청나게 치열하게 이제 공방을 펼치는 그런 자리였기 때문에 조금 힘에 붙이는 모습이 보였습니다. 그러다 보니까 이제 그 이후로 사퇴를 후보로서 사퇴를 해야 되느냐 마느냐 여러 가지 얘기가 나왔는데 이제 바이든 대통령은 나 후보 나갈 거다. He's sort of shown his unwavering determination,
Yep.
and he said, "I'm not going to step down. I'm not going anywhere."
Yep.
So it looks like he is here to stay as the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. Some people called on Joe Biden to step down. And the president says, I'm calling for an end to these calls.
Yeah. So if you're calling for an end to something, or you can say call an end to something, it means put an end to or stop something.
그래요. Call for an end to something. 무언가 중단할 것을 요구하는 거죠.
Yep.
그래서 바이든 대통령이 당내에 있는 이제 후보로서 물러나시오라고 하는 그 요청 사항에 대해서 그만해라.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
이 얘기고요. 그다음에 presidential race. What's that?
Presidential race is a presidential election. So when we're talking about race here, I mean, of course, a race could mean when you are, racing to see who finishes first or who's faster, but it's also competition.
Yeah, exactly. 대통령 선거 전을 이제 presidential race라고 합니다. 올해 11월에 있을 미국의 대선 결과가 어떻게 될지 정말 전 세계가 지금 주목을
Yes.
하고 있는 상황이고요. 현재 그 예전과 비슷한 Trump vs. Biden, Biden vs. Trump 구도로 가고 있어요. But
Yep.
They are, of course, older than they were back
Yep.
then.
Yep.
And they have more to say, but it's a similar picture that we're
Yep.
seeing. Here's the headline again. US President Joe Biden has called for an end to calls among members of the Democratic Party for him to drop his re-election candidacy, as key lawmakers expressed support for him to remain in the 2024 presidential race. Let's move on to the next headline.
Ukraine's biggest pediatrics facility has been hit after Russia launched a wave of missile strikes, with Ukraine's allies strongly condemning the attack.
우크라이나 최대 어린이 병원이 러시아의 미사일 공격으로 피해를 입자 우크라이나 동맹국들이 이를 강력하게 비난했습니다. Now, to be fair, Russia says they did not target this children's hospital.
Yep.
But Ukraine says, oh yes, they did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were hurt. Some people were even killed. Tell us more.
Right. So this is Ukraine's biggest pediatrics facility that's located in Kiev. And as we mentioned, it has been hit by or after Russia launched a wave of missile strikes against cities across Ukraine. 2 people have died. And according to the Ukrainian president's chief of staff, actually, they said that 36 people were killed and 140 people were injured in the strikes. Of course, as you mentioned, Russia has denied targeting the hospital,
Right.
saying that it has been hit by fragments of a Ukrainian air defense missile, which Ukraine said that it found, while Ukraine said that it found remnants of a Russian cruise missile.
러시아 측에서는 우리는 뭐 소아병원, 어린이병원 목표로 해서 뭘 쏜 적이 없다. 이런 입장이에요. 오히려 러시아 측에서는 이게 우크라이나에서 뭔가 발사하다가 그 파편이 떨어져서
Yeah, fragment of that.
우크라이나가 자기의 그 어린이 병원을 그렇게 만든 것이다라고 러시아 측에서는 그렇게 주장을 하고 있고 우크라이나 측에서는 말도 안 되는 소리다. 우리가 이제 실제로 이렇게 폭파가 된 후에 봤더니 러시아 미사일의 파편이 나왔다. 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있어서 전혀 다른 얘기를 하고 있고요.
Yeah, and we mentioned it's a children's hospital, but the 2 deaths, they said that the mayor of Kiev said that the 2 who died at the hospital were adults, one of whom was a doctor. So we don't know if there are any children casualties yet, but he did say that rescuers are fearing that more people are trapped under the rubble.
아, 그렇군요. 자, 2명의 사망자와 그다음에 다수의 부상자가 나온 것으로 일단 그렇게 전해지고 있는데 아직 진행 중인 스토리이기 때문에 앞으로 어떻게 이제 소식이 들려올지 모르겠습니다만 일단 표현을 좀 볼게요.
Yep.
중요한 거는 이제 이게 어린이 병원이란 말이에요.
Yeah.
Children's Hospital이라고 할 수도 있는데
You could, yeah.
Pediatrics Facility라는 표현 보겠습니다.
Right, pediatrics. So it's spelled 2 different ways.
Yeah.
You can put an A in there and say PAEDIATRICS, or you can take out the A as well.
Right.
I spell it without the A.
Sure.
So pediatrics, it means it's related to the branch of medicine that deals with children and their diseases.
Exactly. 영국에서는 이렇게 PAE 이렇게 씁니다. 그래서 요 스펠링도 소개해드리고 싶어서 저희가 한번 넣어봤고요. 영국식
But
영어인데
you still pronounce it
it's the same,
pediatrics, right?
Yeah. 네, pronunciation은 미국이나 영국이나 똑같이 pediatrics라고 하는데요. 미국에서는 요 A 없이 PED 이렇게 시작이 되고 그다음에 소아과 의사는 pediatrician
Yes.
이렇게 얘기를 합니다. 자, 그다음에 a wave of something.
Right. A wave of something means it's a series of something. So a wave is like a sudden increase in a particular phenomenon or activity or a type of behavior. And it's usually used when it's an undesirable or unpleasant one.
한바탕 뭐뭐뭐라는 의미로 a wave of something이라고 얘기를 할 수 있겠습니다. 왜냐하면 이게 미사일을 딱 한 발만 쏜 게 아니고요. 굉장히 여러 발 쐈어요. 그 중에 하나가 이 어린이 병동 쪽으로 향했다라는 의미가 되겠습니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Ukraine's biggest pediatrics facility has been hit after Russia launched a wave of missile strikes, with Ukraine's allies strongly condemning the attack. And here's our final headline.
The sand dunes of Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest place on the planet, have been blanketed by white and purple blooms in recent days after early rains caused flowers to spring up in the dead of the southern hemisphere winter.
남반구의 한겨울에 때이른 비가 내려 꽃들이 개화하면서 지구상에서 가장 건조한 곳으로 알려진 칠레의 아타카마 사막이 최근 흰색과 보라색 꽃들로 뒤덮였습니다. Okay, this is unusual.
Yeah, so of course it is winter time in the
Yeah.
southern hemisphere, and I'm assuming that they see more rain during the spring season, but right
course.
now it's they say the dead of winter, so smack in the middle of winter time. So they're saying that these white and purple blooms have been blossoming
Yeah.
or springing up at the Akatama Desert, which is one of the driest places on Earth. So it's been dubbed the flowering desert with these resistant seeds and bulbs enduring the harsh weather to pop up as flowers every few years during the springtime. But the thing is, it's not spring yet.
Yeah,
It's winter.
it's winter, yeah.
It's winter. So these heavy rains, they're attributing it to the weather phenomenon known as El Nino, and the rains have come early, and they have caused these blooms to come a little bit early.
네, 그렇습니다. 지금 칠레는 겨울인데 더군다나 여기 굉장히 건조한 지역에 비가 와가지고요. 꽃이 피고 있다는 소식이에요. 그래서 이 헤드라인에 보면은 spring up라는 표현이 나옵니다. 이거는 꽃 피다, 개화하다라는 동사예요. 봄이 아니고. 그리고 바로 뒤에는 in the dead of winter라고
Yeah.
했는데 뭐죠?
We use this expression for winter and for night. So you can hear in the dead of winter or in the dead of night, dead of night, dead of winter. And it means smack in the middle of. So when we're talking about in the dead of winter, it means it's that coldest and darkest period during the winter. And if it's the dead of night, it means it's that darkest time in the middle of the night.
한밤중에 in the dead of night, 한겨울에 in the dead of winter 이렇게 표현을 합니다. 자, 그리고 동사 하나 더 볼게요. blanket라는 이불이라는 명사지만 저 동사일 때는요. 완전히 덮는다는 뜻이죠.
That's right.
이불처럼.
Like you can put a blanket over something, right?
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, it is used as a verb and it means to cover completely with a thick layer of something.
온통 뒤덮는다. blanket something. Here's the headline again. The sand dunes of Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest place on the planet, have been blanketed by white and purple blooms in recent days after early rains caused flowers to spring up in the dead of the southern hemisphere winter.
The nation's monthly job growth stayed below 100,000 for the second consecutive month in June, with the number of employed people standing at 28.9 million.
지난달 우리나라 취업자 수가 2,890명에 머물면서 취업자 수 증가폭이 2달 연속 10만 명을 밑돌았습니다. Tell us more.
Well, it's one of these things where it's sort of good news, but
Yeah.
also a little bit of bad news.
Okay.
So the good news is that people are still getting jobs. There
Okay.
is job growth. So that's good. The number of employed people was up compared to June of last year. So as the headline says, 2.9 million. Usually the way we've written it on the screen, I don't recommend writing numbers like that. You never see that in
Oh, this is just for broadcasting
Western,
scripts.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But if you're using this, if you see this and you're maybe making PowerPoint presentations or things like that, I don't recommend using that type of style.
예, 요거는 이제 좀 추가로 설명을 드리자면은 이제 레이 선생님이 얘기하는 게 보통 이렇게 28-0.9 million 이렇게 쓰지 않는다라고 말한 거는 맞는 얘기예요. 왜냐하면은 요거는 방송용 스크립트에서는 저희가 이렇게 씁니다. 이게 그 AP에서 만든 뉴스 쓰는 방식이 있어요. 그래서 모든 뉴스 에이전시와 그 기자들이 이 방식을 따르는데 여기서 이제 뭐 10 이하의 숫자들은 글로 쓰고 10 이상의 숫자는 그게 로만 numerals로 쓰고 이렇게 해가지고 우리가 평소에 쓰는 방식은 아닌데 여기 방송용 뉴스에서 읽기 편하게 우리가 쓰는 방식이니까 이건 참고하시면 되겠고 뭐 PPT 자료라든지 발표할 때는 이렇게 방송용처럼 하나하나 단어를 이게 숫자를 풀어서 쓰지 마시라는 거 이거 말씀해 주셨네요. Okay, so moving on from that. That was a long explanation on my part. Okay, so yeah, do tell us more.
Well, as I mentioned here, so it's the number of employed people is at 28.9 million. That's an increase of 96,000 compared to June of last year. So job growth increased in March, and then in April, it was growing. So from 173,000 to 260,000.
Right.
Then it dropped to 80,000 in May, and stayed below 100,000 in June. We're still adding jobs here. By age group, the largest drop was actually among people aged 15 to 29, with a year-over-year decrease of 149,000. But there was the biggest increase came with older people, older workers. The figure for those aged 60 and older increased by 258,000.
그래요. 취업자 수가 그러니까 뭐 늘기는 했지만 그렇지만 여전히 그 10만 명 아래다. 증가 폭이요. 이런 얘기를 하고 있습니다. We're talking about job growth here. And that's a fixed term.
Yeah, it's a term,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah, it
really,
is.
right?
Yeah.
If there's growth, if something gets bigger. So job growth means there's been an increase in new jobs.
취업자 수의 증가 폭을 말합니다. And employed people?
Employed people, again, it's fairly intuitive. If someone's employed, it means they have a job. So it's people that have jobs.
취업자, employed people. You might say employees.
Employees, sure. And then the person who employs those employees is your employer.
Yep, exactly. Well, here's the headline again. The nation's monthly job growth stayed below 100,000 for the second consecutive month in June, with the number of employed people standing at 28.9 million. Let's move on to the next headline.
More than 50% of sudden unintended acceleration accidents in Korea involve drivers under the age of 60, according to government data, contrary to the belief that many such cases are due to operator error by older drivers.
정부 자료에 따르면 우리나라 급발진 사고의 절반 이상이 60세 미만 운전자에게서 신고된 걸로 드러나 고령 운전자의 운전 실수로 인한 경우가 많다는 통념과 상반되는 것으로 나타났습니다. So this term here, I found that it's sometimes abbreviated to SUA, sudden unintended acceleration accidents. In Korea, we call it 급발진, and that's when the car suddenly moves really fast.
Yeah, that's what and unintentionally, it's
Yeah,
unintended. So yeah, I haven't heard of this until recently.
Okay, yeah. In Korea, we've had stories in the news of people in their 70s, 80s saying,
Right.
I didn't even step on the gas pedal, but the car suddenly moved really fast and I ended up, crashing into a tree or something.
I remember when I was a kid, there was this pizza restaurant in my town, and some person, again, I'm almost positive I remember the story correctly, it was an elderly person,
Yeah.
and they drove right through the window of the restaurant
no.
because they went to park, and the same thing happened.
Sure.
But I think everyone thought, no, you probably hit the gas instead of the brake, and then you
Exactly.
hopped the curb and went right through the window of this new restaurant.
And that's what I'm sure a lot of people here think as well. Because
Right.
in the news, when we have stories about SUA, it's generally people that are older. And so even though they claim to have not stepped on the gas pedal, many people think
You probably did.
probably did.
Right.
But this data says more than half of these accidents that have been reported are actually drivers under the age of 60.
Under the age of 60, I did a rough calculation based on the numbers that the article had. It was around actually 56% were below 60. The highest case incident, though, are people in their 60s. So of these, they looked at data. They had 456 reports.
Yep.
They had nearly 400 confirmed with age. So not all of the reports they knew the age had not been verified, I should say. So in roughly these 400 cases where they had the age, 122 of them were drivers in their 60s. So
see.
that's the highest proportion. But if you take the numbers, you add up the numbers of people under in their 50s, 40s, and 30s, it's actually more.
아, 그렇군요. 이 데이터가 이제 최근에 결과가 발표가 됐는데 수집이 된 데이터는 2014년부터 지난달까지의 꽤 방대한 데이터입니다. 그런데 이제 이렇게 보게 되면은 456건의 이런 급발진 사고가 집계가 됐고 그 중에 122건이 60대 운전자였고요. 비율로 봤을 때는 이제 연령대는 60대가 122명으로 가장 많았습니다. 그렇지만 이제 전체적으로 퍼센티지를 보게 되면은 60세 미만 운전자가 절반 이상이었다. 이런 얘기가 되겠네요. 70대 운전자는 46명, 그리고 80대 운전자는 3명. 이렇게 나왔습니다. 이 데이터에 따르면 그렇다는 거죠. So this is from 2014 until last month. So it's
Right.
a long
10-year, yeah.
period,
Right,
actually.
right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so sudden unintended acceleration. 이게 급발진이라고 합니다. 저도 좀 찾아봤는데요. 이거를 이제 SUA라고 이제 줄여서 말하기도 하더라고요. unintended의 뜻 볼게요.
Anytime we say something is unintended, it means it was not on purpose. It was not intentional. It was unintentional. You didn't mean to do it. So sometimes you can offend somebody and it was
Right.
unintended. You know, you didn't mean
Sure.
to do that.
Yeah.
Anything that's not on purpose.
네.
Like, I don't know, during when you were speaking before, the sign behind you fell.
Oh.
Like that was totally unintended.
Did it? When did that happen?
Oh, during your long explanation about
really?
the way that numbers
It's
were
written in the news.
Yes.
Oh, 그랬군요. 몰랐네요.
That was
네.
unintended. Anyone who saw that, there's a perfect example of when something's unintended.
네, 의도치 않은 일이 발생했습니다. 아까 제가 뭐 이런저런 설명하고 있는 중에 뒤에 있는 현수막이 떨어졌나 봐요. 저희가 의도하지 않았다는 거. It
Things
was
like that.
unintended.
Yeah, things like that happen on live radio.
And I had no idea that happened.
Yeah, you were so into your explanation.
Exactly. Okay, what about contrary to something? Contrary to a belief.
Well, this word contrary is used in a few different ways.
Yeah.
It always means against what was said or what was
Yeah.
thought. So in this case, contrary to the belief. A lot of times when you'll see this phrase, it'll say contrary to the belief of some. It'll make a group, right?
Yeah.
Contrary to the belief of some players or contrary to the belief of some students. And then it'll say the opposite of what most people think is actually true.
Exactly.
You'll also sometimes hear contrary to the popular belief
Yep.
or popular opinion. Again, that's what most people think. So like, you know, and I a lot of times when there's phrases like this, I'll just search the news, recent headlines to see how they're used. And like one of them said, contrary to popular belief, the Putin-Xi summit was not about Ukraine. That was a headline. Again, we're probably going to think if they meet,
Yeah,
that's
they'll
what
talk
they're
about
talking
China.
about.
Yeah. But I
No,
mean, Ukraine,
actually,
sorry, yeah.
apparently it
yeah,
wasn't true.
yeah.
You'll also sometimes hear the phrase on the contrary or to the contrary, and that again just means the opposite. So one interesting headline I found yesterday said, Google's business does not suffer from AI competition. On the contrary. So everyone thought, oh, it would probably be hurt by all this AI competition. Actually, no, Google reported the highest earnings they've ever reported. So the company's actually doing just fine. So on the contrary means the opposite of that.
네, 일반적인 생각과는 달리라는 뜻이 있습니다. On the contrary라고도 많이 하고요. If you're going to be a bit fancy with this term, you might go for the French way of saying it, which is au contraire, which I think people will understand.
And
but
then
it's-
roll their eyes at you for yeah.
But in England, they do this quite a lot where they'll use words that sound similar in French, but just say it to lighten the situation. You know, it sounds
Yeah.
fancy, but also funny at the same time.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know if they do this a lot in North America, but in
I-
England.
I've heard
people-
it.
Yeah. So,
I've been to England a lot.
of course.
Yeah, I've heard
so,
it.
So, on the contrary라고 하기도 하고, contrary to popular belief, the popular belief or popular opinion 이것도 다 마찬가지로 일반적인 생각과는 달리라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. More than 50% of sudden unintended acceleration accidents in Korea involve drivers under the age of 60, according to government data. Contrary to the belief that many such cases are due to operator error by older drivers.
For the fourth consecutive year, Vietnam has ranked first among 53 destinations as the most affordable country in the world for expats, according to a 2024 Internation study.
53개국을 대상으로 한 올해 인터내션스 조사에서 외국인이 살기에 재정적으로 가장 여유로운 나라로 4년 연속 베트남이 선정됐습니다.
These are interesting stories. I always keep an eye out for these kind of stories.
Keep an eye out on, yes. 이런 게 뭐가 있나 항상 주의를 기울인다. So will you be moving to Vietnam in the future?
Maybe. I know a lot of people that have, and a lot
Okay.
of people like it. It is definitely, and as you know, as we can see here, it's quite affordable.
Yeah.
This survey, so Vietnam, it came 40th place out of 53 for quality of life, 29th for expat essentials, which includes a digital life, housing, language, and it ranked 14th for working abroad. So this is, they take into account things like career prospects, salary,
Okay.
and job security. So quite interesting. This data, the data that was used to compile the report, was mainly actually unchanged from last year, with the exception of a new entrant into the top 10 list. Brazil got 9th. Malaysia dropped from 5th to 11th this year. Any guess? So Vietnam we know is number 1. Any guesses on number 2? It is not in Asia.
No, not in Asia.
Not in Asia.
An affordable place for expats to live in.
Yes.
I don't know.
in
Somewhere
South
in Europe?
America. Colombia.
Okay, there
Yes,
you go.
Colombia. Indonesia came in 3rd. Then we go back to South America. Panama came in 4th.
interesting.
The Philippines 5th. 6th, India. 7th, Mexico. 8, Thailand. 9, Brazil. And 10, China.
Interesting. 재정적인 면만 봤을 때는 가장 여유로운 나라 1위가 베트남이고요. 그 다음으로 지금 얘기해 주신 콜롬비아, 인도네시아, 파나마, 필리핀 순입니다. 그렇지만 이제 재정적인 것만 기준이 될 수는 없겠고 그 외에 이제 삶의 질이라든지 그 다음에 외국어가 얼마나 잘 사용이 되고 있는지 이제 그 엑스pat 들이 외국인이 살기 얼마나 편리한지 그런 순위를 보게 되면은 베트남도 뭐 53개국 중에서 삶의 질은 40위로 비교적 낮게 나오긴 했어요. 그렇지만 재정적인 면만 봤을 때는 베트남이 1위입니다. It's the most affordable. What does that mean?
Well, if something's affordable, it means it's comparatively cheap to other things. When you compare it to other things, if you live in an affordable country, we say your money goes further.
Yes.
You can afford to pay for more things. You know, your rent's not as expensive, or your housing costs in general, whether you own, you have a mortgage, whatever it is cheaper. Food, those are the big ones, right?
Yeah, exactly. 저렴하다는 뜻의 affordable 들어가서요. 살기 저렴한 나라, affordable country.
And the food is so good there. It's affordable and
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Exactly.
Love the food there.
What's the rice noodle called? Pho?
Yes.
Pho. 네.
Some people say pho, but I think you're supposed to say pho.
이제 PHO. 한국에서는 포라고 하죠. 근데 영어식 발음은 pho입니다.
And the sandwiches. Oh
yeah, what's
banh mi.
that called? The banh mi, yeah.
Yes, unbelievable.
I've never been, but
Really? Okay.
I've had banh mi and pho
Sure.
in Korea.
Right.
And I
Still
like
good.
it. It's still good, yeah.
It's
but
still very good.
I heard it's better in Vietnam.
Oh yes, and a lot cheaper.
Of
you
course,
could
of course.
probably get 10 for the price of what you get 1 for here.
Okay.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's actually 10.
All right. Don't quote us on that.
No.
What's an expat?
An expat, me. I'm an example of an expat. So it's someone that's from another country, but they're living in a different country. And when we say like it's not just traveling, right? You're not an expat if you're a traveler.
Yeah.
You live there long term,
Right.
and more than likely you work there, unless maybe you're retired and you've moved to a more affordable country
Sure.
for your retirement. A lot of people do that.
네, 그렇죠. 그 나라에서 살고 있는 외국인을 expat라고 부릅니다.
Expatriate.
맞아요. expatriate or expatriate 이렇게 발음을 하는 긴 단어를 줄여서 expat라고 하는 거고요. 국외 거주자. 쉽게 말하면은 거주하고 있는 외국인, 여행자는 아니고요. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. For the fourth consecutive year, Vietnam has ranked first among 53 destinations as the most affordable country in the world for expats, according to a 2024 Internations study. Let's move on to headline number 4.
The winners of the world's first artificial intelligence beauty pageant have been announced, with Kenza Layli from Morocco beating 1,500 other computer-generated women to claim the digital queen title.
세계 최초 인공지능 미인 대회에서 모로코의 켄자 레일리가 1,500명의 다른 AI 참가자들을 물리치고 디지털 미녀 1위의 타이틀을 차지했습니다. Okay. I don't know how I feel about having these pageants.
Okay.
But tell us more anyway. Yeah.
No, I'd like to hear your opinion.
Okay.
on it.
So I think it's sort of backward thinking to incorporate beauty contests in the AI world when
Right.
we've just started sort of getting rid of them in the real world.
Yeah.
And then they're thinking, let's judge women on their looks with AI now.
Yeah, exactly. It is. When I read this, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, tell us what's going on.
It's definitely interesting. I guess
Yeah.
it's just kind of the way that things are. So this was to crown the first Miss AI.
Right.
The judges. I found this interesting. It was a panel of 2 real humans
Yeah.
and 2 AI generated models.
Okay.
So even they were using AI.
AI judges.
AI judges. So that was somewhat interesting. So each judge, they assess the contestants across 3 core categories:
Okay.
realism, tech, and social clout, which means followers on Instagram.
Of course.
And then they used a point-based system for this. So the winner, as we mentioned, was from Kenya.
Morocco.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yes. Kenza. I said
Right.
Kenya, didn't I? Kenza Leila from Morocco. She is a hijab-wearing activist and influencer. Wow, so we don't have enough of those these days. We better make some more.
And she has 193,000 followers.
Yes, so she must be important because that's how we
Wow.
judge people's importance these days.
Yes. So apart from the fact that it looks like both of us, we don't necessarily agree on objectifying women in
Fake
this
women,
sense.
yeah.
But nonetheless, let's look at the expression, a beauty pageant.
A beauty pageant. So this is a contest of beauty. And it's
Yeah.
usually for women. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no men beauty pageants, is there? The creepy ones are the ones with little kids, especially like in the States. They
Yeah.
love that stuff in the southern U.S. I don't.
So everyone can have an opinion, and some people might think this is great. I just don't happen to be one of those people. But then again, like I said, everyone can have their
To
own
each their
opinion.
own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
to each their own.
I tend to sort of agree more with you in this case, I would say.
자, 그냥 미인 선발 대회를 뷰티 파전트라고 합니다. 조금 전에 우리가 얘기한 거는 물론 저희의 개인적인 의견이긴 합니다만 사실 전반적으로 세계적인 추세가 이런 여자를 외모로 판단하는 미인 대회 없애자 이런 추세로 많이 가고 있는 와중에 이제 AI 미인 대회를 만들었다라는 것이 조금 의아하긴 하지만 뭐 있으니까요. 그 다음에 computer generated 볼게요.
Designed or produced using a computer program. I think it's probably more accurate to say AI generated in this case instead of just because computer generated, someone has to make it. AI is going to make it, with the prompts, obviously. It's going to somewhat make it itself.
네, 컴퓨터로 생성됐다는 computer generated라는 단어가 나오는데 조금 더 구체적으로 말하자면은 AI로 생성된 그런 참가자들이었고요. 심지어 심사위원 중에 일부도 AI였습니다. We have a new AI jingle as well. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll hear that later on in the
Okay,
show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, here's the headline again. The winners of the world's first AI, artificial intelligence beauty pageant, have been announced, with Kenza Leili from Morocco beating 1,500 other computer-generated women to claim the Digital Queen title. Let's move on to our final headline.
The mummified remains of an American mountaineer have been found 22 years after he went missing while climbing Peru's highest summit, Mount
Huascaran.
Huascaran.
Yes. 네, 페루의 최고봉인 와스커란 산을 오르던 중 실종된 미국인 등반가의 미라화된 시신이 실종 22년 만에 발견됐습니다.
A lot of the times it's actually easier to look at the Hangul for words or titles that are not
Yeah.
English because in
Yeah.
English, a lot of times we don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, exactly. But 22 years is a very long time to have not been able to find this body, and they finally have.
They did on July 5th. The
Yeah.
man's name is William Stampfel. His body, clothing, climbing boots, his crampons were all well preserved by this freezing temperature and ice, according to the police. Officials were able to identify his body because the ice also preserved his other belongings, such as his driver's license and passport. He went missing. He was with two friends, and they were caught in an avalanche in June of 2002. One of the other bodies had been recovered. One is still missing. He was 58 years old at the time.
아, 그렇군요. 그 당시 실종됐을 당시에 윌리엄 스탬폴이라는 등반가였는데요. 58세였다고 합니다. 이 얼음 속에 그 시신이 묻혀 있다 보니까 지금 미라화된 상태로 발견이 됐는데 뭐 운전면허증도 그대로 있다고 하고요. 그 다음에 이제 그 시신의 보존 상태가 아무래도 얼음 속에 있었으니까 양호하다고 합니다만, 자, 이 표현 볼게요. Mummify.
I think usually we think of Egypt,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
where they embalm them and wrap them in
Sure,
cloth. But
yes.
actually, and I didn't know this. You can still use this word when someone, like a human bodies, they're preserved due to freeze drying. It's called
yeah,
with cold and dry conditions. It's a natural mummification process. And unfortunately, I fell into a little bit of the rabbit. I made the mistake of being like, "Oh, is this a thing?" And like look, ice mummies and
Yeah.
finding pictures of this, and it's a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it happens in a lot of these mountains, all over Mount Everest.
그 미라 있잖아요. 우리가 뭐 이집트 관련된 영화를 본다든지 그러면은 그 피라미드에서 이제 미라 형태로 이렇게 나와가지고 다니는 그런 코프스들도 나오는데 그 영어로 mummy라고 해요. M-U-M-M-Y. 그렇게 미라화하는 거를 mummify라고 합니다. But one other thing I want to mention with the word mummy, because I grew up in England, is that M-U-M-M-Y is the way we spell 엄마.
That's
In
right.
England. But not in North America. I think you
Right.
spell it M-O-M-M-Y.
Correct.
그래요. 영국에선 엄마도 M-U-M-M-Y라고 합니다. 자, go missing.
Go missing. You cannot be found. It's a unexplained absence. So, and you can use this. We use this for people, right? If a person goes missing or a child goes missing, they're not found. But you can also use it for your items.
Yes.
Especially when we say it, it implies that something's probably been stolen because it's gone. It's not
gone
where it's
missing.
meant to be. Like, maybe someone has a party and then, oh, my watch went missing after the party, for example. I wonder, so maybe someone took it.
사라졌다. 행방불명되다. Go missing. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The mummified remains of an American mountaineer have been found 22 years after he went missing while climbing Peru's highest summit, Mount Huascaran. All right, well, that's it for our headlines with Ray.